All right, welcome back to Getting Sober, again. My name is Jay, and today we're gonna express gratitude together. But first, if you care about your own sobriety journey as much as we do, we have hundreds of videos on the topics of sobriety and self-improvement, so make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. All right, let's get started. So before we officially start today's video, I want everybody to take a moment right now and to stop and think about all the things that you have. It doesn't have to be material possessions. It could be your friends, your family members, your pets. It could be where you live. It could be the house or the apartment that you live in. It could be your car. It could be the vacations that you've took in past. It could be the vacations that you plan to take in the future. Whatever you're grateful for, whatever you could possibly think of, I want you to write it down right now, pause the video, and comment down below and express gratitude for all the things that you could possibly think of. And then I'm gonna do the same here with the remainder of this video. So go ahead right now and pause the video and talk about all the things that you're grateful for. And the reason why I talk about this particular topic is because I think here in the United States, we have Thanksgiving in November. And I think that during that time of year is a time that we all stop and pause and think about, like, well, what happened this year? Well, I got a new car this year, or I got that new tool set that I wanted, and things happen, and there's breaking news, and then things happen in your neighborhood or at work, or you got in some arguments or whatever. You're just trying to get sober for the 50th time or whatever, and then you just forget about the things that you're grateful for. So when I wake up every day, I do my morning prayers, and I pray for, of course, all of you, and I pray for my family members and my friends, wherever they are in the world and whatever they're doing. But one of the first things that I like to do immediately is I like to show gratitude. I like to pray and say, thank you for all the things that I have and all that I am. And I like to pray for just even the thank you for my pillows. Thank you for these comfortable pillows that I just recently bought at Sam's Club. Thank you for my bed sheets that I read the reviews on, and they're really good bed sheets. Thank you for this bed. I searched online, and again, I read these reviews, and it's bringing me comfort. It's giving me a restorative quality of sleep every night. We forget because we wake up every day and things just kind of feel the same, and we look around, it's like, well, that's still here, and that's still, these 3 lights are still here, and these 3 posters are still here, and that light is, we just kind of take these things for granted. And it's really easy to take some monumental things for granted. And I'll ask you a question. How many times have you lost something and then you really realized what the value of that thing was? It could be a person, it could be a place, it could be a thing, right? And so I'm gonna talk about all the things that I'm grateful for. And first I'll say that I can't possibly, in a suitable timeline of a video, YouTube video, I can't possibly think of everything that I'm grateful for, but I think this is just a great exercise to do each and every day and throughout the day. Just say, thank you. Thank you for the blue skies today, even though it's gonna be a rough day at work, but at least the sun's out, right? Thank you for the fact that there isn't snow and ice all over the grounds. Whatever you think of. Thank you for the fact that my car's running and that there's nothing wrong with my car right now, so that I can get to work and then complain about my coworkers, right? Or how light my paycheck's gonna be this week, or the fact that I haven't gotten a raise or whatever. We tend to focus on the negatives. So in my opinion, when we show gratitude on a daily basis, it's an amazing way to show God, or to show the universe, or to show your ancestors and all your family members who paved the way for you, that you're ready for the next series of blessings that might be coming your way. We recently made a video called, Are You Standing in the Way of Your Own Blessings? I think that when we don't show gratitude for, say, the car that we have because we want a better car that has better gas mileage or that has less problems with it or whatever, when we don't stop and say, well, but thank you for the car that I do have, it's showing God or the universe, your ancestors, and all the people that paved the way for you that you're not ready to receive what might be coming to you next. When we take our house for granted and we just say, like, well, I wish I wasn't living here. I wish I was just living somewhere else. And it's like, well, you're not showing gratitude for the fact that you have a roof over your head, that none of the windows are busted out, that the furnace works, that the air conditioning works, that the dishwasher works, that the water still runs through all the pipes, and every time that you flush the toilet, it goes away. And all of these things are things to be grateful for, instead of just assuming that, well, it was here yesterday and it's here today, so it's gonna be here tomorrow. Are you certain that you're gonna have life tomorrow? Are you certain that your car's gonna run tomorrow? Are you certain that you're gonna be in a relationship tomorrow? Are you certain that all the things that are currently working in your life are still gonna work as well as they are tomorrow? Are you certain that all of your investments are gonna be as high as they are today? Or are they gonna maybe be a little bit higher? But they certainly could be a lot worse. And if anybody has any, say, technology investments right now, you know that the stock market goes wildly up and it also goes wildly down in the snap of a finger. So right now, if you haven't yet, go ahead and pause the video for all the things that you could think of to be grateful for, and then I'm gonna officially start talking about all the things that I could possibly think of that I'm grateful for. So first and foremost, how this all started, this is a video that I've been wanting to put out for a few years, and last week was the 5-year anniversary of my father passing away. He unfortunately passed away from cancer, and in 2018, in July of 2018, before I officially started this channel, which I started in November of 2018, I found out that my dad was ill with cancer. And though he wasn't in the terminal state yet, we kind of had a feeling that he wasn't going to last much longer. And then fast forward to July of 2019, I got the phone call that things are rapidly starting to deteriorate with his condition, and that I was gonna have to come out and be there with him. And I was thinking about the fact that it's already a tragic situation, and we can easily focus on the fact that things maybe aren't the way that we want them to be, and nobody wants their parent to die or their family members to die or their friends to die. But it dawned on me, I had this revelation last week around that time that he passed away, when I was thinking, well, what was happening around that time frame? Around that time frame was COVID. That was starting to bubble up in that timeline in our recent history. And a lot of people who had a loved one pass away during the pandemic, a lot of these people didn't even get to say goodbye. They didn't get to have a final hug or a final kiss or a final just sharing of words or just reminiscing of their fond memories together. And I hate to think of the fact that so many people were sitting in waiting rooms while their loved one was right down the hallway, and they just couldn't even just put a hand on their shoulder. And they couldn't just tell them how much that they loved them or how much that they really valued the time that they got to spend together. And I was focused on the feelings that I had about my dad, maybe, getting remarried and moving away. And I hadn't seen my dad in 10 years. And it dawned on me how tragic it would have been that I was stuck in my feelings and being stubborn. And what if he had passed away and I still wasn't able to see him, even though I wanted to, unfortunately, on his deathbed? So I'm grateful for the fact that at that time in his life, I got to spend the last month of his life by his side, listening to some of his favorite music and playing card games and watching TV together and eating together and sharing some laughs and some fond memories. So I'm incredibly grateful for the fact that even though he passed away, that I got to be there with him for that last month. Now let's talk about some obvious ones that maybe we take for granted on a daily basis. And first and foremost, how about your 5 senses? Aren't you glad that you can see, that you can hear, that you can feel, that you can smell, that you can taste? And recently, Sam and I went on a cross-country road trip, and we got COVID. I got COVID for the 3rd time when I was out on this road trip. I think I got it in Las Vegas, and we kept going across country, and all of a sudden we didn't feel well, and I lost my sense of smell. Smell and taste go hand in hand together. So you know that, well, if you can't smell, then you're just kind of lost on all of the greatest foods, on what they taste like, or even just the aroma. You walk into a house, fresh apple pie, amazing. Fresh baked bread, pizza, all these things, you name it. What are some of your favorite smells? Comment down below. But I'm very grateful to have all of those 5 senses. Again, those are one of the things that you wake up every day and it's like, oh no, I didn't get enough sleep last night. My alarm's going off. I don't want to go to work. And then you neglect to show gratitude for, well, at least, okay, if I open my eyes, I can see. Right? And then I can hear my alarm, and I can feel the comfort of my bed sheets, right? And I can smell my morning coffee, and I can taste my morning breakfast, right? So the 5 senses. How about the fact that if you have both of your arms and both of your legs, and you're upright and you're mobile, that you can get yourself out of your bed, to your bathroom, down the stairs, into your kitchen, into your car, that you can drive your own car and you don't need somebody else to help you drive around town? Isn't that something to be grateful for? I absolutely think so. And I'm reminded of this quite often. And I spend time purposefully thinking about this. I have a friend of mine who had a terrible accident when we were both just fresh out of high school, and he was doing some electrical work on the side of a building, just an odd job, right? Getting ready to go to college and do bigger and better things in life, and he wasn't wearing a protective helmet, and his head touched a power line, and that power line sent electricity through his body, and he lost both of his arms from the forearms down, and lost all mobility. So he became quadriplegic from 18 until now. We're both about the same age, 42. I think he might be 43. So I can't imagine that happening to me, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to just express and never know what it's like to have to live that as my daily existence. And I always pray for him, and I'm always grateful for the fact that he's still creating art to this day, and he's still creating music to this day, and he found a way to be strong and to still inspire and motivate people in his life with the limited circumstances that he has. So I'm grateful for the fact that I have both of these hands and all 10 fingers and all 10 of my toes and both of my feet and my arms and legs, and the fact that I'm able to walk on my own 2 feet, because in July's are spicy months for me. In 2015, maybe you know or you don't know, way before the channel, I got what was diagnosed as a cerebral spinal fluid leak, or CSF leak for short. And this happens a lot to women because women during pregnancy will get an epidural, which is a shot in the base of the spine to help numb the pain and ease the process of childbirth. And well, that puncture site will often at times cause a leak of cerebral spinal fluid. The spinal fluid goes around the sheath lining of your spinal column, and also is what keeps your brain suspended in liquid. It is that liquid. And when I had this CSF leak, they didn't know where it was. They didn't even know that I had this. I found it out on my own and self-diagnosed, and I took my case and my presentation to the Cleveland Clinic, and I told them, hey, this is what's happening, and do something about it, right? And so the CSF leak, why I'm incredibly grateful for it, is because it causes orthostatic headaches, meaning when you're upright, it caused headaches. When I laid down, didn't have headaches. But I'm not talking about headaches. I'm talking about earth-shattering, life-changing, life-altering pain when I was upright. This isn't just a headache. It felt like my brain was getting hit with a hammer and stabbed at the same time. It felt like my neck was being gripped by the Hulk. I had insane tinnitus, blurred vision, sensitivity to light and sound, and I don't know that I would have continued living on like this. And doing my research online, I was going on the chat forums and finding out that other people had this condition, and that they didn't know what it was. And some of these posts were 10 years prior to 2015, and some of these posts were like a mother and saying, I'm a mother of 3 children, I can't go to work, and this is affecting my daily life, and I can't get out of bed. And to illustrate the point, I don't know how long it takes you to go from your bed to your bathroom. Just think about it. What does it take? 10, 15 seconds to get to your bathroom? That amount of time, that 15 seconds, I could not make it on foot from my bed to my bathroom without having to then fall down on all fours and then crawl to the bathroom and then crawl up onto the toilet seat and just try to hold my head into a place where it didn't hurt, that I didn't feel like I was gonna vomit all over myself. And I was useless. I couldn't drive a car. I couldn't go to work. Obviously, I wouldn't be making these videos. I couldn't go for a walk around the block. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go to the kitchen to make myself a sandwich. It was an absolute nightmare. And I'm absolutely certain that if that was my reality on a daily basis, I probably would have, I hate to say it, I probably would have opted to no longer live that existence. And I'm very grateful for the fact that I get to stand up on my own 2 feet each and every day without any more pain. And it took me, after a couple of blood patch procedures, where they take your own blood, and they inject it at the proposed site of the CSF leak. It creates an internal scabbing or a clotting, which would hopefully seal up the site of the leak, which they never found, but eventually it did work after a couple of blood patch procedures. But it still took me about 2 to 3 years after that, which put me at about the time frame of when I decided to start getting sober and then starting this channel. So life works in mysterious ways. God works in mysterious ways. And I want to remind you too of the plain fact that if you were presented, just stop and think about this for a moment. If you were presented with the timeline of your life and the experiences of your life, the relationships that you would be in, and the heartache that you would go through, and the education system that you were brought up in that you probably would opt not to go to as an adult, who knows? All the trials and the tribulations, maybe you had some pain, maybe you had a car accident, or you had some people in your life pass away. Everything that happens in your life led up to this moment right now. And I'm certain that if it was presented to me, it was like, all right, you're about to be born, and it's the year's 1981. Not that you're gonna remember, but you're about to slide out into life. This is what your life's gonna look like. Do you wish to proceed? I would probably say, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do all that. And think about the fact when you were a kid and somebody asked you, well, what would you like to be when you grow up? I'm certain that if somebody asked me, I wouldn't have been like, well, you know what? I think maybe from the ages of 21 until about 37, 38, I'll have a drinking problem, and I'll go to college 4 or 5 times and never to get a degree. And then I'll use all my artistic and creative skills to start a YouTube channel to help people to get sober and be sober, and dedicate all my efforts to trying to help people live a better life. I never would have said that, right? And you never would have said that you would be in middle or upper management, or that you live in the city that you live in, or the state that you live in, or the country that you live in. You probably wouldn't have picked this particular path for your life, but here you are making the best of it. And that's again why I want to talk about this particular topic of showing gratitude for all the things that you have, because all of those life experiences leading up to today, all of those times that you tried to get sober and found yourselves getting sober, again, led you here. All of those mistakes are only mistakes if you don't learn from them. And that resilience that you built along the way built the character that you have today. And you might not feel like your life is amounting to what you hoped and wished and believed that it would amount to, but I'm here to tell you that your story's not over yet. And this is just one particular chapter in the long story of your life. And like we said in our last video, one chapter has to end for a new chapter to begin. And maybe a new chapter for you is showing daily gratitude. And maybe a new chapter for you is finding the silver lining in things that you wouldn't have normally found the silver lining in. You know, here's an example that maybe you'll adopt and embrace. When I'm stuck in traffic, it's never convenient and never feels good, and it's always frustrating, right? When I'm stuck in traffic and maybe there's an accident up ahead, maybe you've had this thought too, and I think to myself, well, what if I would have left the house maybe 14 seconds earlier? And if that accident would have been me? And maybe the police and the ambulance and the fire department would be trying to call my next of kin, trying to call my mom, or trying to call Sam, or one of my aunts or uncles, or whoever they could find to contact to say, you know, hey, Jay's on life support and I don't know if you can get here, but maybe he only has a few minutes left to live. So I decided that even though it's inconvenient to be stuck in my car in traffic, it's awfully convenient to be healthy, to be happy, to not be in that accident, to be able to just sit there and to just listen to a few more minutes of my podcast or a few more minutes of my favorite songs and know that, well, I knew better because accidents happen. And maybe if I was rushing out the door, what could I have controlled to realign my day so I wasn't so stressed out going to work? Maybe could I have made my coffee last night? Maybe could I have gone on Amazon and find one of those fancy coffee makers that I could just put the coffee grounds in the filter at night, and I could set the alarm and the time on it, and I can say, hey, brew this coffee at, 6:15 a.m. so that when I get out of bed at 6:30 a.m. and I take my shower and all that stuff and I come downstairs, coffee's already made for me. I don't have to depend on anybody to do that for me. And then I don't have to wait in line at Starbucks and get frustrated with how long the line is, predictably, or at Dunkin' Donuts, which gives you 75% sugar and only 25% coffee, right? So we always talk about creating better habits and healthier habits so you can reduce the amount of stress in your daily recipe, because your day is a recipe, and what you put in it, stress, anger, resentment, maybe some joy, maybe some happiness, maybe some gratitude, all these things make up the recipe of your day. And we're always trying to perfect that recipe of our day so that we can have a more productive day, so we can have a less stressful day, so we can build more time into our schedule so we could take that bike ride or that walk around the block or maybe that double lap around the block. Or maybe, you know what, I'm feeling like, why don't we go to that park that we haven't gone to in a while? Or maybe how about I find a new park in my area and I can go for a hike out there. Or maybe I could just go for a hike after work, whatever it is. Instead of finding excuses, finding solutions. And that's another thing that I'm grateful for, the fact that I was able to make these small changes. And one of the small changes that ended up becoming a big change was, of course, my sobriety. And I'm very grateful for the fact that I chose to get sober, though of course, everybody says the same thing. I wish I would have gotten sober sooner, right? And maybe you haven't gotten sober yet and you're just sober curious, but of course, the best day to get sober was yesterday, and the next best day to get sober is when? Today, right? And we say, well, by that math, it'll be tomorrow, and then the next day will be the next day after that, right? But we eventually have to build up the courage, and we have to eventually start to look at who's in our life, what's in our life, what activities we're participating in, and make that plunge, take that leap of faith, right? It's always a leap of faith, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's professionally speaking, when it comes to our physical health or our mental health. Maybe you're thinking about starting therapy, and I know that that's a scary process. You're just like, well, what if people find out that I'm in therapy and they're gonna think that I'm crazy or that I have something wrong with me? But therapy can be an incredibly useful tool, just like a personal trainer at the gym, or just like you have a doctor to rely on when your physical health is failing. So whatever your journey is, just like my sobriety journey, just like your sobriety journey, we're all here for self-improvement. And that's something I'm also grateful for the fact that on a daily basis, I can make more better decisions instead of worse decisions. That I have this platform to inspire people just like you, and that you have the opportunity by commenting down below and inspiring and supporting other people that are here in this community. Because what is a community without people to be there of support to the people that are looking for it, right? I was looking for support in the beginning. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't know if I should go to AA or if it was bad enough that I should go to rehab or what I should do. I didn't know how to get sober. I didn't know where to look. And that's why we make videos like 10 proven ways to prepare for sobriety. But going back to the topic of what I'm grateful for the fact that I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful for the fact that I have all this technology and I know how to use it. I have all these cameras and these lenses, and that in my current/past life of being a photographer, videographer, that it just lent to this avenue of being able to make YouTube videos to help inspire and motivate people to get sober one video at a time. And I'm very grateful for the fact that I have people in my life that care about me, though it's not a ton of people, but it's people that I also care about and can care for in return, just the way that they show care for me. And I'm grateful for the fact that I have my cats, and I'm very grateful for the fact that I have food in the refrigerator. How about this one? I'm very grateful for the fact that every time I turn the lights on, that they come on, right? That's probably another one that you take for granted. I'm grateful for the fact that I can climate control my house 24/7 all year round. I'm very grateful for the fact that I don't really have to worry about my bills. I'm very grateful that my car payment is being paid every month, that I have no credit card debt, that I have only a little bit of student loans. Things could always be better, but of course they could always be worse. And one of the things about things being better than being worse is the fact that we don't know how bad they could be because we don't have to live that existence, right? I'm very grateful for the season changes. I'm very grateful for the sun in the sky. I'm very grateful that on the long timeline of human existence that we don't have to live in any of those darker times where people got paid less or had to be subjected to things that maybe scared them or threatened their life on a daily basis. And I'm very grateful for the fact that every single day that I've looked out my window that I've never seen an opposing army on our streets. So for all of you that are veterans here or active military members, thank you for your service. And by the way, comment down below, and hopefully members of this community will continue to also shower you with their praise and their gratitude for all the things that you were subjected to and had to do to secure our freedom, to give us this way of life. And I'm very grateful for democracy, and I know that it always doesn't work the best. And when you turn the news on, it always seems like it's one side versus the other. But here's maybe a reminder to turn off the news. There's so many different things that you can listen to. There's so many videos out there like this one. We have over 800 videos as of the recording of this one to listen to, right? To be inspired by. There's many other motivators and inspirers out there that you can listen to that can help you to reframe your mind, to work on your mental health, to work on your physical health, to start new healthy habits, to start new healthy hobbies. And I'm very grateful for the fact that we have high-speed internet right now, that we have more computing power in our pockets right now than they had on the lunar landing mission. I'm very grateful for the fact that I don't have to worry about my safety on a regular basis. I'm very grateful for the fact that I don't have to worry worry about being hunted by animals in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping. And I'm very grateful for the fact that I live in a safe neighborhood where the neighbors are quiet and we all wave to each other and people are actually neighborly. And that's one of the reasons why I moved away from where I lived, which was in Cleveland. Not trying to knock Cleveland, but things are certainly better here. And I'm very grateful for the fact that we made this big move across the country to be here, to change my studio setup and to continue making these incredible videos for you to enjoy. And I'm very grateful for the fact that you spend your time and you invest your time here with us, and that you give me ideas in the comment section for what videos to make, and that you also inspire people with your great news, with the fact that maybe you were on a dozen medications and now you're only maybe on a handful or less of medications, and that maybe your blood pressure was high and now it's lower, that every time that you go to your doctor, that maybe they look at you and they say, whatever you're doing, keep it up. Your blood labs are looking good. You seem to be the epitome of health. And if not, then I know that you're working on it, because if you're listening to this video, you, just like me, just like everybody here in this community, we're all working towards self-improvement. And last but not least, I'm grateful for my mom, who went through all the trials and the tribulations that she went through and surviving multiple near-death experiences to eventually give birth to me and give me this gift of life so that I can be here and I can be here with all of you. And I'm very grateful that she's still in great health, because I'm reminded every day of people that are in worse health that are certainly the same age or near the same age that she's in. And I'm very grateful for the fact that we still get to talk to each other every day, and that we'll eventually see each other in the next couple of months, and that she made all the sacrifices that she made by going to work every single day, and times where she wasn't in the best health, and times that she was heartbroken and maybe didn't know how she was going to make it up out of bed that day. And I'm very grateful for all the food that was put on the table and all the toys that I had and the swing set that I had in the backyard, and those birthdays that I got a brand new bike even though it was winter and I couldn't ride that bike. And I'm grateful for all the toys that I had and all the friends that I had and all the life experiences that I had and the education that I had, which wasn't the best, but it helped me to definitely develop the character that I have, that I could be this person that's sitting here in front of you. So if you haven't yet, take this opportunity to thank your mom or to thank your dad if they're still around, or just remember them right now if they're not with us any longer, and just say, thank you for all the sacrifices that you made. Thank you for all the times that you woke up early that you didn't want to, and all the times that you worked harder than you probably would have otherwise, and all the hours that you put in working overtime so that I can have the quality of life, whether it was good, bad, or otherwise. And thank you for this gift of life. Thank you for all the holidays. Thank you for all the birthdays. Thank you for all the sacrifices that you made so that I can be the person that I am today. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to show your support for everybody here in this sobriety community by giving this video a thumbs up. And I want to wish you good luck on your self-improvement journey, and I will see you in the next video.
If you want to see another one of our videos, click here.